Welcome to Fat Over 40. My name's Miles, and in this episode we're going to look at my DNA profile. Well, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. There's a new film every single Friday, and if you like what you hear, then please hit the fat thumbs up button. But more importantly, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video. Now, your DNA, I suppose we've all got it. I was wondering what I had and how it affects what I eat and my fitness regime. So I went onto a website called DNA Fit. Their strapline is "Achieve your genetic potential." Hey? Well, with a strapline like that, how could I not resist? So I've found out what my genetic potential is. Yeah, and I'm just going to run through with you how it's going to affect my diet and my fitness regime. So I'll put the sort of the summary up on the screen, and we can sort of go through it in turn. Now, the whole process it was very painless. I suppose the payment part was the only painful bit, but basically went onto the website, placed my order. Within a couple of days, this package arrived. In there with all the instructions, including the sort of the swab. You know when you see them in the movies and they say, open your mouth and give us a DNA test. Well, you had to actually do it for a minute each side to make sure that obviously your DNA was on there. Then popped it back into the little container, sealed the top, put it back in the stamped address envelope and sent it off. 10 days later, I had my electronic results through. So I did get a report on my food and I got a report on my fitness. It's very, very detailed. It does go into all of the layers in terms of my genomes and exactly what part of my DNA makes up each of the results. But I won't be going into that today. I'm going to summarize things very quickly. So if we just look at my fitness, in terms of my potential of power versus endurance, I was really surprised actually. 35% power, 65% endurance. So you know, I've always thought of myself more of a sort of a static, powerful chap, but maybe I'm not. Maybe my full potential is to look at my aerobic endurance. So watch this space there, I suppose. My VO2 max capability, my aerobic capability, I'd have thought that had been really low, but it was medium on the scale. So again, this opens my eyes to more aerobic exercise, which I'm not going to enjoy doing. But I'm going to have a go at. My recovery rate, again, it says it was medium. I'd say my recovery rate at the moment is slow, but I sort of have to think that maybe this is based on me being fit and how well will I recover if I was sort of at my fittest. So there's hope yet. The main negative about my fitness report is that I'm highly prone to injury. I suppose when I think about it, yeah, most of my body hurts, but soft tissue injuries, I do carry quite a few injuries, but you know, sort of work through them. But yeah, so that is the downside of my fitness report. In terms of the food, the sort of the summary of the food report or my diet is that I'm best off with a Mediterranean style diet. I probably could have guessed this, to be honest with you. So fresh fish, sort of white meats, lots of vegetables, lots of oils. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with a Mediterranean diet. The main thing it says I've got to increase is my antioxidants. So all those sort of lovely colourful berries, I've got to try and get more of that into my body because my sort of detoxification, my ability to detox myself is not very high. So I need to add antioxidants and that sort of thing into my body to help speed that through. It also said that I need to eat more crucificaceous, I'm going to write this on the screen, okay, it's easy for me to spell but not to say, basically green veg, yeah, so cabbage, broccoli, kale, anything that's sort of green and crunchy, I guess, I need to up my consumption of those. Omega-3, so I do take omega-3 supplements anyway, but sort of eating more oily fish, again, I'm not going to have a big issue with that, and more fibre. I've got to decrease my salt, my caffeine intake. I was a bit sad to hear that the way I metabolise caffeine is not good, so I need to cut down on my caffeine. And refined carbs, I've got to cut down on my refined carbs, and alcohol. Alcohol in moderation can actually help my cholesterol level. It probably just means like, a glass of wine a night or something. I'm not going to go down that slippery road of having a drink every night, but it basically says that I don't process alcohol very quickly. So I'm going through the fancy sort of chart behind me. So in terms of my sort of how I process carbs, so carbohydrates, the sugars, I've got a medium tolerance there, but sort of a low tolerance to refined or processed carbs. My saturated fat, I'm able to process saturated fats well, so I'm pretty happy with that, although I try and not to have too much saturated fat within my diet. Obviously, don't forget there are good saturated fats and bad saturated fats. It says that I'm lactose tolerant, so sort of eating dairy isn't an issue for me, and I would concur with that. I don't have a problem, but it does say that I'm possibly celiac, or I'm possibly prone to be celiac. I can't say that I've ever really noticed this, but I suppose I might have like a sensitive stomach. I know my dad suffered from a sensitive stomach. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm doing it. So maybe I need to sort of experiment on cutting the things out of my diet, wheat and gluten, and see if it makes a difference. So we'll look out for that. I need to increase my antioxidants, my omega-3s, my vitamin B and vitamin D efficiencies, if you like, are pretty good, so that's all good. And the way that I detox things is slow. So I suppose, when it's sort of saying, don't eat a lot of salt, don't drink a lot of coffee or consume a lot of caffeine, don't drink a lot of alcohol. Basically what it's saying is that I don't really process those things that are toxifying to my body very well. So that's what I've got to be careful, I think. So all in all, I think it's quite an interesting sort of insight into the stuff that we've all got inside us but we can't see, the sort of stuff that makes us up and what makes us sort of predisposed to these things. It's not chapter and verse, everyone's different. What I've sort of gone through doesn't mean that is it for me, just because it sort of says that I'm 35% a power athlete and 65% an endurance athlete, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be that. I suppose it's just a sort of an indication, yeah? And it's something for me to work on. Maybe I need to work more on my power if it says that I'm an endurance athlete. So yeah, it's good things to know, and certainly a little bit reassuring as well on some fronts too. So there we go. DNA Fit, check it out, look it up for yourself and see if it's for you. Now, you may well have seen the biggest Get Healthy collaboration on YouTube. It's been going on again from the 15th. There was 21 videos that were launched on people's individual channels. I'll put all the links in the description down below if you haven't checked them all out already. But to make it easier, here's a link to the playlist here. If you haven't seen Tom's Top Tips for Testosterone, all the T's, then click here. And if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? New film every single Friday. And if you make one change this week, get your DNA tested so you don't die fat.